MGF GRiPSHORE is a range of lightweight, manhandleable GRP shoring products, ideal for use in the utility sector when either hand digging or using a mini excavator. All the products can be installed and extracted by hand and do not require lifting or handling by an excavator. The Trench Box system provides shoring solutions for excavations up to 1500mm deep, incorporating single-acting hydraulic struts to support trench widths ranging from 620mm to 1450mm. At 1.5 metres in length, the Trench Box provides a generous working area. The collapsible equipment means that the system can be easily transported in small commercial vehicles. GRiPSHORE Trench Boxes can generally be collected or delivered direct to site within 24 hours. Please contact MGF for free advice on whether the product is suitable and if a design is required. MGF can provide a complimentary design service for customers submitting a completed MGF design request form. The product is installed using the dig and place technique and is therefore only suitable for use in trenches whose vertical sides are generally stable and self-supporting in the short term. Prior to delivery, prepare a safe working area local to the excavation for assembly of the system. Unload the trench box and lay one of the panels on timber skids with the MGF logo facing the floor and toes of whaler facing skyward. Ensure any air is removed from the hydraulic cylinders by opening the quick release valve and compressing the struts. 4 hydraulic struts should be placed inside the whalers with the male hydraulic coupling facing the top of the panel. Hydraulic struts for the trench box are supplied pre-connected in pairs via a short vertical running hose. Connect hydraulic struts within the whaler using provided pins and R-clips, such that the R-clips are within the box when connected. Please be aware that at this point of installation, the hydraulic cylinder is able to scissor and could potentially trap operatives' fingers. Care must be taken to ensure the hydraulic cylinders do not collapse. Place a top panel over the struts, aligning the pre-drilled holes in the struts with the whalers. The end of the strut with the hose connector is secured with a single pin through the upper hole. The opposite end is pinned through both bottom holes. When positioned correctly, both panels will be flush. The unit is now locked from scissoring. Connect the bucket pump to both pairs of hydraulic struts via the supplied two-way bridle and hoses, ensuring that the hose and the bucket pump do not obstruct the installation. The hoses will connect to the male quick release valves on the upper cylinders. Hand dig or excavate the trench to the required width and depth and batter the ends whenever possible. Faces of the excavation must be vertical and provide sufficient space for the system to be easily slid into place. To ensure that the system adequately preloads the soil and to prevent extraction difficulties, it is important that trench is dug to the design dimensions. Inspect to ensure the faces are stable. Do not stand directly over edges in case the face is unstable. Push the unit over to the trench and position flush with the edge. The top of the panel must be facing away from the trench. This safe system of work will focus on the works being completed by hand. Alternatively, the systems can be installed and extracted using a suitable mini excavator and suitably rated lifting ancillaries. Feed 4 installation slings through the upper holes in the protruding whalers and back through the loop at the ends of the sling and pull tight. 2 operatives should grip 2 slings each, one from each panel to suit their corresponding sides, ensuring they are stood in a safe area with secure footing. The slings should be gripped such that they can easily be released if a secure footing is lost. Carefully begin to launch the trench box system until the weight of the unit is balanced on the edge of the trench. Take any slack from the straps and begin to raise the unit such that its self-weight will begin pulling the box into the excavation. Operatives should consider the weight of the trench box configuration to ensure that this can be controlled. Place straps safely to one side and begin to pump out the hydraulic struts using the MGF supply bucket pump. The valve on the single acting bucket pump is one way and should remain in the forward position to lock and pressurise the hydraulic strut. The unit may need to be slightly lifted during pump out using the installation straps if the base snags on an uneven trench floor. Continue until the facing panel pushes tightly against the opposing trench wall and that soil begins to compress. Panels should be in continuous contact with the trench wall. It is critical that any voids directly behind the hydraulic struts are packed out with timber or similar strength material to ensure that the ground is suitably preloaded. Continue to pressurise the system to between 400 and 750 psi. The pressure gauge must hold a pressure and not indicate any loss in pressure. Struts are fitted with a safety bleed-off valve to prevent overextension. If hydraulic fluid is visible, then the strut is too short and either a longer strut is required or the width of the trench needs reducing. Hydraulic fluid is water soluble and biodegradable. Ensure the final position of the unit sits square and vertical against both faces of the excavation with continuous vertical contact on the exposed trench faces. Realign and pack out if necessary. Remove the hydraulic hoses by prying off each top strut with the release tool. Retrieve hoses, ensuring that the female connector does not fall to ground, as grit and dirt can damage the mechanism. Turn the valve and the bucket pump away from the pressure gauge to depressurize the pump. Continue to install trench box units as required along the length of the trench. The space between the boxes depends upon the stability of the soil face. If there is a concern about loose material falling into the trench, then the gap can be closed. If the ground is stable, then boxes can be spaced at a maximum of 2 meters apart. Inspect the full installation, ensuring that there is no evidence of instability along the unsupported faces and edges. It is now safe to enter the excavation via a ladder placed inside a trench box. When inside the trench, operatives should continually monitor the walls for change of conditions such as water seepage, excessive movement or cracks. Trench box units are removed in a continuous backfill and lifting sequence, ensuring that no operatives enter the trench unless they are within a zone protected by fully pumped out struts. Depressurize struts using an MGF release tool and use a spade to prise panels away from the face of the trench. Once the panels are capable of being easily lifted out, continue backfilling and raising a corner at a time until the unit can be completely removed from the trench. Place the unit panel face down, ready for disassembly. Reattach the bucket pump hoses to the upper struts and turn the valve and the bucket pump back. Apply even pressure to the panel, releasing the fluid within the cylinders back into the bucket. When completely emptied, remove the two-way bridle. Remove R-clips and pins in sequence, firstly to allow the top panel to be removed, followed by both hydraulic struts. Disassembly is now complete. Before collection, remove any loose dirt and contaminants. Units can now be returned to MGF.